Let us know
if the audio.
I can't hear you. You're talking.
Type. Let us know if the audio pops up.
Let us know
if the audio.
Nope,
I hear something.
Type. Let us know if the audio pops up. That looks like it's coming through now.
Someone said echo now.
Now there's an echo. All right, because we have multiple channels going. I got like everything going now. So all right, let's go ahead and shut down the EV. So the electro voice is out of here. You want to just push that out there someplace, like off screen. There we go. Okay. Let us know if we're echoing now or if we are okay.
Fixed.
Is it fixed? Oh my goodness. There we go. For the win. Can you imagine? My goodness. Yeah, so it's...
Hi, guys.
We're back.
We're back.
And you can hear us. My God.
Way to start off a Friday night. Technology.
Yeah, you know what?
Gotta love it.
It's, it's just one of those things, and it happens. It is what it is. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. I have my tea. Fabiola does not have a hard drink.
No, it's so sad, but it's okay.
She's been sick, and she wasn't here, obviously, for the last live, which kind of sucked.
I was going to start getting sad again because I missed you guys last week, and then this whole thing happened.
And this whole thing happened, and it's like, oh no, we're going to have to pull the plug.
Yes, coffee.
So, anyways, this was a monumental time, right? So, tonight, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I know top of mind is the Starship that ended up going boom, which was kind of sad. I want to get into that a little bit because I think that there's a lot of people that say, oh, it's a failure. A lot of people say, no, it's a success. When we saw it actually go up, there was the whole team, the whole crew that was at Mission Control. They're cheering and they're all, just excited that the thing blew up. And, from being someone out, not in that space, pardon the pun, you look at it as like, oh no, this is a major failure, because the thing blew up. It didn't do what it's supposed to do. Now, if you don't know, Starship is that little thing at the top. Matter of fact, you can see it on our screen right now. I have the video playing so that you can see it while we're actually talking tonight. That thing at the top is the Starship. And
it's crazy.
It's just amazing, right? So that's the Starship. And then everything below it is the, let's call it Super Heavy. That is that massive, massive rocket that gets the Starship out of, let's say, into low Earth orbit. Well, it kind of worked, didn't work, and they have 33 rockets, or 33 engines on it. And right from the get-go, you can see that all the engines were on. And then there was like 2 or 3 engines that flamed out. You can see it, and it's just apparent. And you can see little explosions. You can see little things going on that weren't right. And I really do think that the majority of what happened here, the failure was not in Starship. The failure was not in the Super Heavy either, in my personal opinion. I think a lot of it had to do with the actual structural integrity of the base that the unit was on. Because I remember we looked at like the footage in slow motion, and you can see chunks of the concrete like flying off the ground, literally making a hole in the earth, and the concrete flying around. And even in the ocean, like, oh God, it's got to be like 5 football fields away or something. You can see all of the debris just hitting the water and making these huge splashes. Why? Because chunks of the unit, chunks of the earth, and chunks of the actual concrete are being blown apart. And I really do think that either the hydraulics got hit, and a few of the engines got hit. I believe at the end of this whole cycle, when it finally got up into, I guess, to Mako, where it's at its highest point, or the most pull, let's say, from the Earth, where it's just about ready to now break apart, where they kind of sever, and now Starship would be able to go on its way to go a full pass around the Earth. It got to that spot, but while getting there, there was like explosions. There was stuff that wasn't right. And then when you really look at it, I think there was up to 8 of those engines that were no longer functioning. So I have a feeling that they weren't functioning is because they got beaten the hell out of with debris. So that's my speculation. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this thing is like now at the very top, literally almost out of the atmosphere, tumbling, because it's supposed to actually tumble to the side and then break apart. But it tumbled to the side, didn't break apart, and then did a full flip, and then another flip. I'm like, oh shit, this thing is not going to go well. So the question was, when I looked at it, I'm like, that's all, it's time to self-destruct. And when I saw it and the thing blew up, and there was like people in the comments saying, oh, it blew up because of this and that. I'm like, no, that thing was self-destruct. They hit the button that said, you need to blow up. They blew it up. You can see the 2 timed explosions, the one for the base and then the one for the Starship. They blew the whole thing up. And that was it. That was the self-destruct button. And they kind of have to do that. When you have a rocket that is a mega rocket like that, just flipping out of control, even if it landed in the ocean, which it probably wouldn't because you really don't know, you almost have to self-destruct it because you just don't know where it's going to end up. It can kill thousands of people, right? So, and that was the end of that. It was just like right now, matter of fact, on the screen, you guys can see all of those engines, and each one of the engines are labeled E, whatever, E for engine 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 33. And like I said, 8 of them were not working. So anyways, guys, this is kind of like where it all went, and it kind of went downhill from there.
But is it really downhill? I mean, like for me, I look at it like this thing is amazing, like huge. It's like, how do you even wrap your head around just the amount of brains and the work and the hours and the testing? And so when people make all these comments, it's like, really?
Right.
You know, I agree. That's just a lot, and it is. I mean, we've been to the Kennedy Space Center, and to see all of those different things that they have, the ships, it's just awe.
Yeah,
you know?
It's amazing.
And so I mean, to me, it's like, wow, like we get to see this in our lifetime, and obviously he's going to continue. They're going to continue. I just don't look at it as a fail. It's always about learning.
It was definitely a win. And when you see that entire, you see everyone cheering that the thing blew up. Well, the amount of telemetry that's on that thing, the amount of data that they got is just unbelievable. They're going to be going through it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Looking at it, I really do think what they'll probably end up doing is making some type of trench or some type of water. There's got to be something that allows this thing not to just completely destroy the concrete that it's sitting on, right? Because I think that's a major, major problem. I think the problem is actually in the base and not necessarily the rocket or Starship. But, that's my speculation. But we'll see as time goes on. That's true. So what do you think?
I already told you what I thought.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's what it is, guys. What she said. That's the answer.
We had this whole intro thing going on for you guys, and then our sound wasn't working.
Yeah, I mean, she has a NASA shirt on and everything.
I was ready.
I mean, what do I got? I have my tea mug, right? Look at this teacup. Look at that. Tea time, guys. Do you get it?
Wow.
Tea time. You see it? Look at that.
I think they see it.
Maybe they don't.
You need my glasses?
I probably do.
Yeah.
Probably do. Anyways, let's say hello to everyone. Rubicon, how are you doing? Mark, thank you for being here. Razel, how are you? Morgan, there's a lot of folks in here.
Yeah, I'm happy to see everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot. David, how are you doing? Mark, McNair, now how are you doing? Tech Drone, what's going on? Mark, Tom, Mark, and David. Dave, how are you doing? David, Joey, how are you? So I see there's a lot of people from all over the place on here. Let me ask you guys, if you have a question in the chat window, put a Q before your question so we can hone in on it and we make sure that we don't miss it. We're going to hang out with you guys probably for like an hour and a half, maybe somewhere around there tonight. So any questions that you have, let me know. Right now, as you can see on the screen, they say, put your money where your mouth is. The last time I did a video and I told you guys that I was starting to use this piece of software and it was working out really good for streaming. And I threw that up on the screen so that you guys can see it. Now, let me see if we can actually get all of the data out of it. Let me see.
Hey, Puerto Rico.
All right, be a little stutter here as I get this whole thing rolling, but I want to show you this thing working, and then you can kind of watch while we're doing it.
Razel
Go right
has
ahead.
a question. Is Starship now considered the most powerful rocket in the world?
It is, and definitely the largest rocket in the world also. It's massive. I think the Starship itself, the little cone at the top, is bigger than the Empire State Building or something.
That's crazy.
It is massive.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like awe. Like what?
Yeah. So I'm going to make sure I'm connecting. Bear with me. Right now we're going through the Ethernet cable, which is Starlink. Okay. I'm now connecting, and you guys should see it. I'm now connecting through T-Mobile also. And like I said, I wanted to do this live for you so you can actually see it working, so to speak. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the entire stream using Speedify, but using both Starlink and T-Mobile bonded together to see if we have any hiccups. Is there any pausing, or is there anything going on? Because a lot of folks were saying, well, you said that the Speedify worked for you. We want to actually see it working. Well, that's what we're going to be doing tonight. This is kind of like a test, right? We're testing.
I feel like we're testing stuff without wanting to test stuff.
Well, the audio was a damn test. I don't even know what the hell it is. I mean, I kind of.
The Mid-Coast of Maine question, did he say it can hold 100 people?
Yes. So he did say that Starship would be able to hold 100 people, and I forgot how many tons of equipment. Just tons, like 100. It's just like it's a ton. Is amazing to me on how much that this thing can actually lift. But if you think about it, that's what is going to be required to be able to use this to not only get to the moon, but eventually get to Mars, because they need to transport a ton of stuff.
100 people or 100 tons?
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm asking.
No, it's 100 people.
100
it will
people.
actually fit 100 people. And also having to do with Starlink, the version 2 Starlinks are huge, right? We know that. Well, those version 2s, they'll be able to hold well over 100 of them inside that capsule at the top. And they showed like an animation of how it works, and it just sits there and just almost like this sliding deck kind of thing. It just shoots them out like this, like 100, 150, I don't know, a ton of these things. So once they get this thing working, and now it actually does go to LEO or low Earth orbit, I think everything is going to change. It's going to be a major game changer, and people that do use Starlink, they're going to have, number one, it's going to be a lot more reliable. There's going to be a lot more satellites up there. They're going to be more dense, populated, let's say, up there. But then also, these new version 2s are 4x, 4 times the amount of let's say connections, the amount of connectivity, right? So right now they can handle about 1 million people through Starlink. They'll be able to handle 4 million all day long without a problem. So this is exciting to me, and I'm sure a lot of you people that are rural or using Starlink because that's all you have, it's probably exciting to you also. Anyways, let's get into some more questions and say hello to everyone.
The
here.
Mid-Coast of Maine asked also, does Elon plan on creating a Starlink type system on the moon for their support?
Yes. I think the whole idea, there's a couple of things that it's my understanding that what they're going to be doing with the Starlink. I think one of the things that they're trying to do is to get time to the moon. Timing is everything, and it's kind of strange to think about that, but there is a delay, right, obviously from Earth to the moon, and that delay is kind of a problem. They need to get time there, and I think they're going to be using Starlink as one of the items to get time there. But of course, once you have Starlink satellites obviously going around the moon also, now all of a sudden you have connectivity, very amazing connectivity. Remember, each one of those version 2.0 Starlink satellites, just like the 1.0s, they have lasers on board. So they'll be able to shoot a laser of data in comparison to just radio waves from satellite to satellite to satellite to build let's say a mega mesh network is basically what will end up happening. Whereas the version 1 Starlink satellites didn't have that laser built in that feeds data back and forth from satellite to satellite. So that's really cool in itself.
Okay, Joey has a question.
Yeah.
SpaceX sent up more Starlink version 2 mini satellites. Was
They
this
did.
the second group or third group that have been sent up?
So this is the second group. It was this week they sent up 21 more of the satellites. The first batch, I don't know how many deorbited, but I know at least one or two, I believe, already did. Maybe others will also. My understanding was the first batch had problems with the propulsion system. I don't know if it just had to do with propulsion or if it had to do with software, but supposedly they could not get up to altitude. Now, what a lot of people don't know is these satellites, when they're dropped off out of these Falcon 9 rockets, they're dropped off at like 200, 250, let's say, kilometers, and they slowly move up, or 300 kilometers. They finally move up to that 550 kilometers sweet spot, let's call it, their operational distance. So when they first start out, they're lower, much lower than that, and they slowly move up into position. And that's why most of these satellites, even though they put them up, let's say this week, they don't go into an operational orbit until maybe a month. Could be 2 weeks. It could be 2 months. It really depends on where they need to be revolving, let's say, around the Earth. But they all need to be right around that 550 kilometers for them to become active, let's say.
Okay. John Ross.
How you doing, John?
Elon Musk was 100% behind and responsible for the Launchpad design execution results. His Asperger mind would not budge. Did he learn his lesson? The pad damaged the hydraulic gimbal system, causing later partial failure. Pad damaged 820 Raptor engines, showing up later. Elon has to admit his total pad failure. The sound pressure tone through the rocket if it was a Titan II rocket.
There you go. So yeah, and I agree with you, John. I mean, so I guess with anything else, you always have to have that one person that kind of take charge and just deals with all of the shit that comes with it when, things go sideways. Well, I don't think he's going to skirt it. I think he'll say, yeah, we screwed up. I did this, I did that. But I know there was an interview that was done with him not that long ago, and someone was talking about a specific thing on the rocket, and the interviewer said something like, shouldn't that system, cooling system or whatever it was, be also on the other stage? And he literally sat there for a minute.
That was a little bit ago, though,
yeah,
right?
He sat there for a minute and he said, yeah, that is 100% right. And we're gonna have to do that, which is just really weird to actually see his brain, how it works like that. And like you said, it's, he might be a little eccentric, let's say, and out there, but I think we need people like that to really push things, because, one of the things, like you were talking about with the Saturn rockets, all NASA, like here, all NASA, it's governed by a board, right? And what ends up happening is it runs slow like a tortoise, going uphill in January.
Did you say a tortoise?
A tortoise. I mean, it's just slow, like molasses, right? So the thing is if you, with SpaceX, which differs from NASA, is that NASA they need to be 100%. They cannot have NASA rockets blowing up. That is the difference. So they will take a year to launch one rocket where Elon would do 100 rockets. Now, to get to those 100 rockets, you're going to have to fail a lot. But the difference is he doesn't really care about failing. He's got the money. He's got, I think it's 2 more of these rockets already in preparation. I mean, they're already built.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So he's got already 2 more Starships, 2 more of the super heavies that are in the works. So he was saying, like, within the next month or 2, they're going to try again, which is bizarre, because if this happened with NASA with a Saturn and it blew up on the, it was a catastrophic failure. Yeah, it would just be over. Funding would be over, support would be over, and that would be just it. and he doesn't need any of it. So, not to say that he isn't responsible, but he is 100% responsible, but I'm sure he's going to take it on the chin and be like, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong with this and I was wrong with that. And now we're going to redo this. And now we have a massive hole in the ground already. So it'd be perfect to fill that in with water, or make some type of, they need to have something to funnel the blast of 33 of these mega engines, those flames. They need a funneling system, some type of outward system that will just channel that heat and channel that explosive energy away. I think that there was a lot of catastrophic failures that ended up happening. I know when I looked at it, it looked like some of the engines in the inner ring, which would be the guidance engines, right? Those engines were already like on fire. Things were off. It was not good. It was a mess. So, but anyways, yeah. I mean, John, you're right. You're right. Let's see. Razzle says, could you use Starlink around Mars and the Moon for interplanetary connection? I think you should be able to, and the reason being is, once again, well, okay, it depends on how powerful the lasers are on these satellites. Okay. If the lasers are powerful enough, yeah, you'll be able to communicate through laser from, let's say, a satellite. Perfect example is like a satellite going around the Earth and a satellite going around the Moon. You'd be able to communicate not even with radio signal, but actually through laser as it's coming through. I don't know how they're going to end up doing it. I'm speculating here, but that would not be an easy feat to do, but I'm sure that they can do it. Once again, it has to do with telemetry. It has to do with being able to get, you would have to get the two lasers, right, the beams, to match up on a satellite that's revolving at 17,000 miles per hour on Earth. Easy. Right? It's easy, right? It's easy. And then a satellite that's revolving around the moon at who knows how fast, right? So you would have to be able to aim them, and then there has to be some kind of guidance to lock on and then keep that laser connected to be able to make the transmission happen. So I don't know if that's how they're going to do it. Maybe they do it through radio, or maybe they don't. I don't know. But I think that they should be able to figure that out. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. That's down the road. That's I guess that's kind of out of my wheelhouse. We can just speculate, right?
The Midcoast of Maine says, FYI, last fall you taught us the router system Omada. Me and my son put the dish on the ground next to the pond, bought the stuff, and it kicked butt all winter. Many thanks. 8 years, HughesNet, no more. That's awesome.
Wow. I'm so glad. I made those videos about mesh networks, and I deliberately used Armada, the TP link, because I didn't want to use like PEP links and things like that are going to cost you guys, $1,000 to get started with. So I used the TP link to make sure that it would function for me, and that's why I taught you guys how to do it, or using the TP link. So I'm really, really happy that you got value from those videos, and they actually worked, and you were able to basically get the exact same results that I have here between external building, main building, throughout the entire 5 acres. I mean, we're getting extremely high-speed internet anywhere on the property, which is amazing. And we have 2 EAS, I believe, 225s that are outside of the building now ever since you saw that video. What is it, a year ago now, maybe 8 months ago? Yeah. And they're still functioning 110%.
That's awesome. That's really good.
What else we got here?
More chat. John was saying that its thin skin would have popped in milliseconds. Starship SS construction was the only thing saving the vessel. Elon should have taken my invite amongst other offers to tour Titan II Museum in Arizona. David, developing a moon base to support future space exploration requires the transport of large amounts of cargo to the surface of the moon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's that, and that's the whole idea of super heavy, right? Is to be able to move a ton of cargo to the moon, and eventually from the moon to Mars. Coming up with a base on the moon just simply makes sense, almost as just like a stopping location. My understanding is that to get to Mars, you would have to actually go there only during certain months when Mars is actually at its closest to Earth. So, so there's a small window each year when you can actually get to Mars. When if you're out of that window, Mars would be pulling away and you'd be trying to get to it and you're going forever, right? A lot further than what you need to. So there's only a specific, there's definitely a window in so doing. But yeah, getting all of the hard supplies, all of those thousands, just tons and tons of materials to the moon just is the only way to do it. And what's nice too is once we get Starship to the moon, it has those 6 engines on it, and that is enough to get off the moon. I think the moon is what, 1/10 or 1/20th of gravity of that of Earth. So you'll get off it without a problem. And landing on it probably won't be too much of a problem either because there's very little gravity. So it should be, yeah, you don't want to mess it up and go and blow all the crap up either, you know. No. But yeah, so once they're there, the amount of fuel, propellant that they use to be able to get from the moon to Mars is going to be a hell of a lot less because once again, they're sitting with very little atmosphere to break away from, or no atmosphere, but very little gravitational pull. Like I said, 1/10 or 1/20th of the gravitational pull.
Raziel says you can also go through Venus and slingshot to Mars that way.
There you go. It's just sling it, just wrap around it and just sling. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I've seen people talk about how to get there. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things. So we'll see what ends up happening with it. Let's first try to get to the moon. I would like to see us get to the moon probably within the next maybe 5 years. I think that would be a good time frame.
Tech Drone said NASA's taking 50 years to get to the moon. Me, Dyson, quicker.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I was alluding to when it comes to NASA. I mean, NASA is they're all about getting it right, unless you talk about the space shuttle, and sometimes shit happens, like heat tiles coming off when they don't supposed to come off, and then it blows up. So that's things even happen when you take years and years of preparation to be able to get them to work, and so to speak. Yeah, all the calculations, everything that goes into it. Let's see.
The mid-coast of Maine in question, 20 camps on my road. I got 4 of them to get Starlink, and it helped set them up.
No, sweet. 20. So you have 20 camps on your road, and you got 4 of them. Okay, so you got 4 of them to get Starlink. Nice. Okay. And help set them up.
So here's the debate, right? It's going to be a debate. For some people, yeah, maybe no. And Mr. Flying Pretzel here. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the moon for the first time. So is it a green screen? Is it not a green screen? That is the question.
Well, I mean,
to some people, right?
No, yeah, and there's some people that say that we've never been to the moon, and the moon, when we did land on the moon in 1969, was faked. It wasn't real. It was green screen and whatever. And I mean, if you saw the video that we had back in 1969. It would be very, very hard to pull it off. Now, people have said that it's happened or whatnot, but those are the exact same people that have said that the Earth was flat, and those are the same people that say that there's no satellites in outer space. All of the talk about satellites being in outer space is 100% false. It is fraudulent. It's fake. Those things are not, there's no satellites in outer space. It's just radio communications. And, people that believe this, I mean, I just feel sad for them. I don't know what else to say. I feel sad because I mean back to the time of Galileo. I mean the Earth is round just by the shadow that the moon casts on the Earth, and the Earth casts on the moon. And I mean, if you can't figure that shit out, I mean, now in 2023, I mean, I feel sad for you. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. I know that's like not being nice about it, but sometimes I'm not nice. But but
sometimes.
All right, a lot of times I'm not nice.
Made me
So, So, but that's, that's the way I look at it. The satellites are up there 100%. When you see like a whole trail of all of these white dots in the sky, they're not UFOs. They're actually the reflection of all those satellites that are coming by prior to them actually going into their specific orbital patterns. They start out in like this trail. Anyways, but we'll go back to the moon, and hopefully it happens before I'm dead. Let's see. What else do we have here? Thank you for that.
Yes.
The flying pretzel.
That flying pretzel.
Let's see. What else do we have here?
He's got more. If they claim it's that flat, why can't they ever just go to the edge?
Yeah, I mean, if the Earth was flat, I would love to have all the people that believe it's flat.
It would be like the pool, like the infinity pool.
It'd be an infinity pool. So it would be great. Like, so all of the people that believe that the Earth is flat, we should get a boat and put them on the boat and then sail them to the edge and see if they fall off.
Row your boat gently down.
And I have a sad feeling that they're not going to fall off. That's just my opinion. Let's see. David says, look into radio waves. I use ham radio and can talk around the world. A flat Earth would not bounce radio signals. Yeah, I mean, pretty simple, right? I mean, you would think that people would just figure it out. It would just be stupid simple. But for some reason, there's people that don't get it. I don't know, but it kind of is what it is. Once again, if you have a question, put a Q before the question so that we can see it for sure. Also, let me ask you guys a couple of things. Number one, if you see any stutter stepping.
Someone did say there was some intermittent
like an issue. Yeah. Let me know if there's any time that we're down, buffering, any type of spinning or whatever. Let me know and give me a timestamp when it happens down in the chat. So this way I can go back into logs and see if it was something with us or if it was just something on your side.
The mid-coast of Maine. JC, next video idea, sending people off the edge. That's great.
Yeah, maybe we could do that. Maybe we can make like a 3D representation of a whole bunch of people rowing to the end of the Earth and just plummeting to where would they plummet to? I guess.
I don't know.
So would they fall down
or up
off Earth, or would they fall up off Earth?
That is the question.
And if you are, let's say, right now on the other side of Earth, are you standing upside down, or am I standing upside down?
Maybe you're just upside
down. Maybe I'm upside down.
John Ross said, Buzz Aldrin promised to punch anyone in the face who would challenge him. He was not on the moon. Last person he punched out, Buzz, was in his 80s. That's great.
That's it. That's right.
That's funny.
Yeah, so, I mean, when we landed on the moon, I was born, right? So I was born in 69. Gosh. I know, I'm freaking old. Sheesh. Damn it. So, yeah, I know, I'm old. But, we
don't use that terminology here.
I just love the idea that we were able to get to the moon, okay, using slide rules. If you don't know what a slide rule is because you're too young, hold on, go to Google or go to ChatGPT.
Oh, God.
And say, hey, ChatGPT, what is a slide rule? And he or she will tell you exactly what a slide rule is. But basically, they used computers, which were actually people, and not devices, computer devices.
Yeah, computers were actually people. They were computers.
They were people.
They computed.
And they used slide rules to get to the moon. And they were successful. Now, Apollo 13, there was a lot of Apollo 11. There was issues. There was issues where, there was people that perished. There was people that almost perished. There was a lot that happened during that period of time, and being able to do that and putting the flag on the moon back in 69 and not being able to get there yet. And it's literally 60 years, what are we on now? It's 60 years or whatever. Yeah. It's a long damn time. And the thing is, it was one of those things that showed the prowess, let's say, or the might of the U.S. at the time. That look, we could actually do it. The might of the U.S. back then, right? It was like a big thing to be able to do it before anyone else was to do it. And now I feel like
just Google
it.
Google it.
Yeah. So now I feel like no one cares anymore. No. Like
there's no pride.
Yeah, I feel like pride is just not there as it once was. And I don't know why, but I guess that's for another video.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe Ahudnik, any news or updates on data caps?
Yeah, so data caps as far as Starlink goes have been kicked down the road. Just like kicking the can, which is good. No, this is actually a good thing. It? Yeah, so originally they
as you can tell, I don't keep up. He does. That's his job.
It's damn good. So the data caps were going to be 1 terabyte. And I remember at the time I told you guys, I said, I don't think the data caps are going to come to pass because I feel that they're going to be able to get enough of the version 1.5s that have lasers built in and the version 2.0 minis up into low Earth orbit, into LEO, fast enough for them not to find it a necessity to cap the data at 1 terabyte. Now, I was speculating. So far, I've been right, and thank God, because there's no cap as of right now. So, that is one of the things that I think is, really, really important. The same thing when it came to money. Did the money go up? Right now, we're still paying $110. I don't know if we're grandfathered in at 110 because some people that are coming on board are coming in at 120. So I'm not sure exactly what they're doing with that. So hopefully they keep it low. We do see a stutter. It says 1856. That's good. I'm going to have to write that down just to see. Let me also, so you guys can look. Now you see on the screen right now, it says Speedify. Check out right here, Speedify. And you could see that the connection right now, we're getting an upload speed of 3 megs through Ethernet, which is Starlink, and we're getting 2 megs through T-Mobile. You can see that. And we have 3 stars. That means the connections are really good right now. Matter of fact, on the screen, we can see the Starship just took off right next to us. We can see that's so. About 4 minutes into it, it's going to be a bad day for that vehicle. The other thing is I'm going to click on latency. Right now on the Speedify screen, you can see the latency for Starlink is right now 45 milliseconds, and the latency for T-Mobile is 60 milliseconds. And they're right around, so that's pretty close. I would like to see a lower latency, but it kind of is what it is. I see it fluctuating between 40, 45 now, and 60 when it comes to Starlink. And T-Mobile is pretty steady at about 60 to 70 milliseconds, which really isn't too bad. Yeah, now, there shouldn't be any kind of outages because I don't see any here. There's no drops so far. But who knows? We'll just keep on watching it and let you know.
John said, slide rules, pencils, drafting tables, paper, rotary dial phones. Yes. 60s equals 60s moon launches. Today, AI children run AutoCAD and we have Starship Launchpad.
It's true. That's exactly right. I mean,
so sad, but so true.
Yeah. I mean, now, people can't smoke in buildings. I mean, and back then they were launching, the Saturn rockets and everyone had like an ashtray right next to their screen while they're smoking up a train. It's crazy.
You just talked about the price. Is it still currently 110?
For us, it's 110.
Right.
And I don't know, like I said, if that's because we're grandfathered in at 110 and they're keeping it there. But I know some new people that just came on board with Starlink, the price is 120. So I don't really know. But also, bear in mind, I told you guys this the last time, if you have portability on your plan, do not lose portability because they stopped offering it. If you don't know what portability is, that means that you can take your Starlink and move it to your cabin in the woods and still have internet access over there. And it only costs $25 per month. If you do not have it, you can no longer get it. There you go. Look at that shot right there. You can see all of those engines are off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there was 6 engines off just on that shot right there, guys. 6 engines off. So this is where things started getting a little bit not so kosher, so to speak. And you'll see like little pops and stuff where there's like mini explosions and stuff that just shouldn't be happening. And this is where things, I guess, kind of go south. But anyways, let's get back into some of these. Let's see.
Question. Let's see.
Romsel says, moon landing was on my 10th birthday.
Yes.
There you go. 1959 born. We got, let's see, Peter. If you have a question, use that cue. I appreciate that, Peter. Thank you. Justice says, I'm paying $110 also ever since June of 2021. Yeah, I think we might be stuck at 110 instead of 120, which would be good, you know. And then even better, there you go. That thing is flatlining. It's spinning, and it's just spinning on top of itself. They're just about ready to pull the trigger and blow it up. Hit the self-destruct on it.
Chaplain question. My power bill for the last 3 months has been over double. Could the Mr. Bevel use that much electricity?
No. So as far as Bevel, for me, my Mr. Bevel, I've done some tests on it. It uses anywhere from 50 watts to 150 watts. That's like the maximum. So that's definitely not going to do it. So, and the reason I've been doing tests on it, because my goal is to be able to put Mr. Bevel 100% on solar battery power with no electricity at all. So that's the goal. We're not there yet. I'm making calls and seeing if I could reach out to some, possibly some sponsors that might be able to help me make this a reality. But I will let you know if we can make it actually happen. But yes, we're normally sitting at about 50 watts, not that much more than that. And that is it. Now remember, that is here in Florida when you don't have to deal with any kind of heating issues, where they actually inject more watts and more amperage into the unit so that it heats up. Now, if you're in an atmosphere, you're in a location where you need the heat, you're going to end up with more watts, and you're going to get closer to that 150 mark. But in a warm climate like this, 50 watts, 70 watts, 75 max, period. So it's not a lot. Just think of a light bulb being on. That's about it. 75 watt light bulb, that's it.
Israel said that it's only $50 in Haiti.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. And I do, I like that. I'm glad that they're doing it. The other thing that they're doing, besides having this really low cost, let's say, I like that they're doing it because they're not only giving, low cost to certain countries, but they're also doing something that I thought was really cool, is they're allowing you to rent the gear. So I think it's like £15 in the UK, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. But I think it's like £15 per month, and you can get all of this gear that we paid like $500 for.
That's wild.
You just get it for $15, and now you pay your monthly fee, and that's it. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I think that's nice.
That's really good.
Let's see.
The Mid-Coast of Maine, FYI me, Waldo County Residential Service, $90 monthly.
$90 a month. That's awesome. So yes, there were some people, it just depends on where you were located. If you were located in an area that had a ton of service, there was no waiting list, a lot of those people ended up getting a reduction from $110 a month to $90 a month.
It's really good.
Which is really nice. I mean, that's good. I didn't get that, here because, we're in South Florida. There's a lot of people that want the service, but, it kind of is what it is. It's like you kind of do what you have. If you get grandfathered in at a low cost, that's awesome. If not, then it kind of is what it is. But $90, that's awesome. And $50, that's even better. What else we have here? Peter, once again, thank you so much, Peter, for that. John says, by the way, my business, Starlink, $500 a month, $250 for the dish. We just got the new bill. Says what is this? All mill item 2, all limited to 2 terabytes. all limited to 2 terabytes for all business accounts. Sorry for the typo. No problem. No problem, John. That's great information. So that means that business service is being limited to 2 terabytes. So it'd be 2,000 gigabytes. And the cost is $500 per month. Now, I mean, I guess I can see that because a business has the potential of using a ton of data, whereas a residence, for the most part, they're watching, 4K TV, they're, their kid is gaming and this kind of thing. I think probably a terabyte to a terabyte and a half, maybe 2 terabytes in a home is more than enough. Most homes, even here, where I'm streaming and I'm uploading large videos, and we have our son that's on Xbox all the time. We have 4K TVs. We have multiple TVs and all the rest of this stuff. And last month we were at 920 gigabytes. So we just missed that terabyte. Yeah. Not intentionally, but we just missed that terabyte. So 920 gigabytes. So yeah, that's really good information. So as you can see, John, who has the business unit, is paying $500 per month. But you got to remember too, his unit, his little dishy, is not the one that we have that's like 15 inches by 22 inches. His unit is 22 inches by like 21 inches. It's like square. It is better. It is better in the rain. It is better for dropout. There's little to no dropout for the most part. Yes, if you get really bad rain, you'll probably get some rain fade also. But it's definitely a stronger signal, number one. But number two, the business class gives you a faster speed. Where we're capping out at, let's say, 100, 200 megabits down, I believe the business is like up to 300 or 350 or something like that. John, let me know if that's incorrect. But I know that it is definitely faster than the priority service of the current residential account for sure.
Dan Bourne, what is the difference between the Starlink speed test and the advanced speed test? My numbers are always different between the two tests.
Just don't use the damn tests. These tests are complete garbage. I don't even know. I mean,
you used to use them all the time.
No, wait. No, the test that, let me see. All right, guys. Let me see. Here we go. You see this? All right, so there's my phone. All right, so this is what he's talking about. You see this test right here? Now, I'm going to run a test. Like, let me hit speed test on here real quick. We're going to run this. Watch how shites this thing is. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's saying that we're getting 10 megs, 11 megs down. Now, we know for certain that this is absolutely not the case. Those numbers are just bogus. Anyways, that's my personal opinion. I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone could prove me wrong, but I don't believe them. I don't go by them. If I want to test the service, what I'll do is I'll go to speedtest.net. And then I will test the server that is closest to my POP, which is the server that speedtest.net finds anyways. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where my POP is. But then what I'll do is I will manually pick like 5 different servers to see which one is the quickest. And then I'll run speed test against that server, the one that was the quickest, 5 times. And then take like a mean, take an average. That's the way I do it, because these numbers, I don't even know what the hell kind of tests these things are, because they are a hot ass mess. Because it's just not even possible. It is not even possible. 10 megs down. I mean, the thing it does not have 10 megs down, I can assure you. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me see if I can bring up, let me just do this as an example. All right, let me bring this up one more time. And I'm going to do a speedtest.net from Ookla. Let me do this top-down cam again. All right, so let's do a speed test. Now, obviously, we're streaming. So if we buffer or something goes south, you know why, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Let's just give it a shot anyways and see what this thing ends up doing. So right now, it's showing that we're having 9 megs down. Now that right now is most likely having to do with we're being connected in both spots instead of on just bevel. So let me change this over to bevel. Hold on one second. And then we're going to do another speed test. Let me just bring this back up real quick. so you guys can see what's going on here. I'm going to replay this too while we're talking here. Bear with me here. There we go. We'll just let that play in the background so you can see the SpaceX go up. So let me go ahead and reconnect. Instead of T-Mobile, I'm going to connect to Bevel and rerun this test. And let's see what we end up getting, because it's just bizarre to me, the test that it comes up with. And right now it's actually saying that we're connecting to Miami, and we shouldn't be connecting to Miami. We should be connecting to Atlanta, Georgia. Anyways, let me change that. But let's take another question while I'm doing this. I'm going to manually change this back to Atlanta,
Royal
Georgia.
Hines was just saying that their RV service is $135 a month, but so far the service is good around Florida. We did that.
$135 a month. Yeah, so $135 a month means that you have the RV service, which is now called Roam. So if you have RV and you're still paying $135 a month, the reason you're paying that is because you're grandfathered into it. If not, you would be on the Roam plan, which is $150 per month instead of the $135. You can also get Roam now for $200 a month, and now it is international Roam, or they call it like Roam Global, I think they call it. And what that means is you can actually roam anywhere on the planet and still get decent service, which is bizarre to me for that kind of price. Just think about $200 a month. Years ago, people would pay thousands of dollars for satellite phones because they were going to just backwoods places or on a mountain somewhere, right? For emergencies. Now, literally for $200 a month, you can have high-speed internet access to make calls or even FaceTime from the same mountain. It's bizarre on how far we've moved forward in such a short period of time, right, guys? What else you got there?
In Speedify, the green color is what on the screen?
Let's see. The green is the down speed. We have the pink. Let me go to latency. So here you got pink and blue for latency. Usage shows this right here. This is the amount that's going out. And if you look right down here, you have 3 stars. Those 3 stars, they basically say, they tell you the health of the network, let's call it. The health of the network. So we see Starlink currently has a health of 2.5 stars, whereas T-Mobile has a health of 3 stars. And we can see the upload speed is currently at 2 megs going out of Starlink and 3 megs going out of T-Mobile. So it's using both of them to send 5 megs. Even though this stream is currently capped out, I think at 2.5 or 3 megs I have it set for, it's still sending that extra data. So we don't have any outages. Now, if, for example, the Ethernet went down and now Starlink is not working, it will continue to send this feed, but it will send it through T-Mobile until Starlink came back online. So the last time I did this and I went live, it was raining really bad out, and the service just literally went to hell, and hell in a handbasket. And T-Mobile ended up hanging in there while our Mr. Bevel couldn't handle the rain at all. So that was very fascinating to me to know that the T-Mobile gateway is able to handle the rain better than the dish of SpaceX, right? So the Starlink dish, I thought that was kind of interesting. But either which way, they're both working in unison, bonded together, so they are pushing the data equally. Now, also remember this. If you look at right underneath it says Speedify, do you see underneath it says streaming redundantly? That's very important because there's 2 ways of bonding this connection. And I did a video about this, and some people asked me what this is all about. I'm going to tell you right now. The way this bonding thing works is normally it will bond them together for speed, right? For speed. The faster, the better. Okay, it puts them together. If there's an outage, okay, it'll move to one. There's an outage on this one, it'll move to the other. If I'm streaming, it knows, as you can see, it says I'm streaming. It knows that I'm streaming. So what it does is it redundantly sends these packets. That's why that you see the system is saying like 2-3 megabytes or megabits up on both T-Mobile and Starlink. The reason is it's sending mirrored packets to both or through both to their servers, meaning that whichever packet gets there sooner or quicker is the one that it saves and the rest gets kicked out.
Okay.
That's true redundancy. So you don't end up losing let's say you don't end up with spooling or something.
All right, so we have, apparently you have 2 concurrent live streams running, 35 people on one and 50 on the other,
There you
both
go.
live. You have 2 live streams going right now.
Wow.
I mean, what? And then someone wanted to know, Israel Sun, how do I get Spotify? You're still buffering.
I'm
Change
still-
channels, no issues on record video or
That is
Tim
so
Pool live
awesome.
stream. Back to your channel buffering.
Wow. Okay. So
We're having issues tonight.
So what that means is, since we had that problem when we first started, that means one of the live streams is still up along with the one that I'm currently on.
That's
So what I'm going to
crazy.
do, so we're actually live on 2 different streams using this setup,
I
which
was
is
wondering
crazy.
why.
So let's go ahead and see if we can find that. Let me ask you guys this: if you are on this stream that we're on right here, let me see. There is currently 47 concurrent that are on here right now.
49.
49. We see Bear 9, and we also see David at the end that says 45 to 50 down now. Do me a favor. If you can, go over to the other stream and let people know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find it and shut that stream down. That should not be streaming at the same time.
It's this.
We'll see what ends up
no,
happening.
it's not.
But let me see if I can actually do this. Yes, look at this. They are both live. Oh my
How's that even a
goodness.
thing?
That is crazy. All right.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this one. Let me just see if I can do it. I don't even know. That is crazy. I don't even know if we can actually do that. This has never happened before, and this happened because we had that audio issue and we had to go live like twice and make another stream. So let's go ahead and, you know what? Instead of killing this, let me see here. This is interesting. This is never, like I said, guys, this has never happened before. So I don't even know if there's a way just to kill this one. But you know what we're going to do? I'm going to do this. We're going to go and check out this live stream, and then what we'll do is we'll have both. We'll have both feeds, and we can answer both of them. How if we do that? I think that's the best way to do it, since there's actually 2 going, and I don't know. I don't want to kill one and then kill the wrong one and all the rest of the stuff. So what we'll do is I'll bring the chat over here too. So bear with me for 1 second, guys. I know this was a crazy one today. I know.
Someone said kill it.
Just kill it. Kill it, Joe. Kill it. Let me see. I can't kill it, though. I wish I could. All right, so we're going to get into here. So this chat should come up. Let's just make sure that this comes up. Bear with me 1 more second, guys. If you have any questions, all right, put a Q before the question, stick it in there, and I will definitely get to it. Let's see. Do we see a chat? Is there a chat? Here's a chat. Look at everyone over here.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. So if you have not heard from us, it's because you're on another stream.
Yes, that's probably, Peter, why we didn't get your question, because we didn't know that was going on.
Yep. All right. So
Wow.
let me just say, we just went over to the other stream. So now, right now, we're streaming 2 feeds. Peter,
Maybe 2 streams because the Earth is flat.
Yes. So we got Peter. We have Will of Texas, Chris, Doug. Let's see, DL Brook, Canadian Starman.
Oh my gosh,
Peter
you guys.
Manson. Let's see, we have David. How are you doing, David? Flying Pretzel, thank you so much for the super chat. Ian, we have more from Flying Pretzel, Joe, more Peter, John, Giant Diamond, David. All right, guys, so this is what we're going to do. Just you can look on this one.
Yes.
I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to look at the chats on here.
Okay.
And if something pops up, do me a favor, put that Q
Okay.
so we can kind of find them.
Yeah, we're keeping this
And
one over here. We're
so-
going to keep them both.
We're going to keep them both. All right.
So
So
we're just
no matter
gonna keep
where
it
you are,
going.
just stay where you're at. And
and you can put questions on either or. We're gonna
find them. So if you're on this one right here, I'm just gonna say hello to all, and this is going to be me, so you know that I am here, or I am kind of here. So this is where we're looking.
Brian said, no. Bears 9 McMahon, is the other stream a deep fake? Yeah, probably. No.
It is. I want to know, like, okay, so which stream is better? I don't know. We have dueling streams here.
Wow.
So, all right. Well, let's just say this. Speedify sending redundant streams, like I was saying, mirrored packets. Well, I guess it's sending more than just mirrored packets. It's sending it's sending quadruple packets now for 2 streams simultaneously. Oh my goodness. Anyways, this is the kind of stuff that happens. Will says total success because it made it to 40 kilometers. I'm going backwards. So yes, Will of Texas, they made it to 40 kilometers. That is big. Chris says it was a success. It was a successful failure. Absolutely, I agree. Let's kind of come down here a little bit. I counted 6 engines were out. That's DL Brooks. He said 6 engine was out. Yes, I think there was actually 8 engines that were out. Bruce King, thank you so much for that super chat. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. You have a question of any kind, put it into the chat. We're going to definitely get to it. We might even stay a little bit longer. We were only going to be here for an hour and a half, but everything has gone to absolute flat Earth times.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Absolutely bananas. Let's see. Canadian Starman says Elon Musk knew that they went cheap on the Launchpad compared to a Launchpad. Yeah, I kind of compared to a Launchpad from the Saturn V. Canadian Starman, I agree. I get it. That Launchpad, when we saw chunks of cinder blocks, basically just mega chunks that were like the size of houses just flying by. Obviously, there was a problem.
Thank you, John.
There was a major
better.
problem. Yeah, John said to feel better or what?
Oh no, he said glad that I'm feeling better.
Yes, I'm so glad that Fabiola is here with me to see this absolute.
The Earth is flat. This is what happens.
Oh my God. David says, like the Starship lunar lander, the engines need to be at the top to keep the tearing up the Earth. Yeah, they need to be. I think what they need to do is they need to make a trench for all of that heat, all of the flames, and all of that, just the power, that explosive power to just be diverted away from the vehicle. I think a lot of those chunks went up and blew out a lot of the engines. They blew out hydraulics. They blew out other stuff, who knows what, that ended up causing the catastrophic failure that later on had to, they ended up having to use the self-destruct button and blow up both units. Anyways, let's keep on going here. Let's see. Starship lunar lander. Dave says, like the Starship lunar lander. Yes, that's exactly right. Without tearing up the Earth.
McGrimco, what kind of time frame you hoping for to see Starship putting satellites into orbit? I'd guess a couple of years.
No, I really do believe that the next time they launch a Starship, it will be a failure. But the third time will probably be a success. When I say failure, there's just going to be problems. It might not have to be a self-destruct failure where they end up having to self-destruct the unit, but it's, this is something that it would take NASA, show them the shirt, it would take NASA to do in 10 years. Elon wants to do it in a year. He wants to do it in 10 months, okay? And to do that, he needs to fail over quickly. So I think it's going to be a quick fail, and like I said earlier, there's 2 more units that are in the wing, 2 more Starships that are in the wing ready to go, and and the heavy rocket. So super heavy, they have a couple. It's all good. It's all good. So I think the question that you had was, when do I think? I do believe that we'll see it before the end of the year. We're going to see some version 2s up there. It won't be 100%, but I do believe that will happen. Also, the version 2.0 minis are already there. They just put another 21 of them into orbit, and they didn't fail. They didn't deorbit, so they're up there. They will go into operation probably within 2 to 3 weeks. That's really good stuff. What else we got there?
Question.
Wait, hold on. See,
No, I didn't move.
You did move.
No.
I don't know where.
Did it?
I
No.
have no idea where you are now. See?
Oh, okay. All right, so let's come on down here.
Okay, it says, is this, Donald, is this what a time warp paradox looks like?
Yes, pretty much. This is paradoxal. We are now, we live on a flat planet. We never landed on the moon. That was green screen. And what those little dots are that you see in outer space in Leo or low Earth orbit are not satellites.
It's faux.
They're not real.
They're sparkles.
Yeah, they're sparkles. Yeah, they're sparkles. Let me see. Peter says, put a question. Yeah, put a Q in. That would be great. Let's see.
I think it was down here. I saw it.
Okay, let's see here.
Was the streaming issue tonight, Joe wanted to know, due to Speedify?
So the streaming issue problem that we had was due to me screwing up OBS and not sending an audio feed. So what ended up happening was I ended up rebooting because I thought it was something wrong with OBS, and it ended up being something that didn't get clicked on right. Anyways, that was the problem. It was pilot error, and luckily I'm not flying a plane because we didn't crash. But yeah, so I ended up opening up 2 feeds or 2 live streams. So there's literally 2 going on simultaneously using Speedify. Anyways,
okay, okay, sorry.
Let me get a question here. Fragile 1976 says, what's the alternative to concrete? I think that the concrete is not the problem. I think the location of the concrete is the problem, number 1. Number 2, there is no way to dissipate. They need to make like a trench, like a damn tunnel or something, to literally pull that heat and pull the explosion, that explosion and all of that, let's say, inertia that's blowing things apart. They need to push it away from the unit. They need to push it away from super heavy. And I think that would help a ton. Now, there's other ways to do it by putting like a water, like a trough, let's say a very deep trough of water underneath. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. But I think diverting that heat and that explosion away from the structure is probably the best bet. And then maybe even getting the actual unit higher off the ground so it's not as low. That might help too. But luckily, I don't work for NASA, nor do I work for SpaceX. So I can only speculate.
Yeah. Okay, so Brian Ragland Sr. Did anyone hear about Starlink sats crashing out of the sky in Ohio?
I did not. If you have any word on that, let me know. I would love to get an article. You can throw it into the chat, a link to that article. I'd like to read through it. I do know that the original batch of 21 of the Starlink's version 2, the minis, some of them did deorbit. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 or how many, but some did deorbit and they came in burnt up. So yeah, let me know about that. I would love to know what happened with that. Question, you think NASA girl, the factory cement in the world, the water bath under thanks not nuclear rocket. So I guess what he's talking about with the water bath under. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of saying. Yeah, you can do a water bath underneath it, like a huge trough is one thing, but also some type of diverter. Yeah, I think a trench would make more sense. And what we saw already from today, there's already a trench. There's already a hole in the ground. Let's see. There you go. 150 tons. So there you go. That's how much you can carry. That is amount. Joe says, question: was your stream okay? To Speedify, we answered that one. John says, let's see. Split them out like an old pretzel. Spit them out like an old pretzel dispenser. Exactly. That's exactly how those satellites are going to be coming out of the cone of the Starship. Just like I would say like that, just like a Pez dispenser. Just popping them out.
Pez dispenser.
Just like that. Just like that.
I used to love Pez.
Pez are awesome, right?
They're the best.
Man, those things are worth a lot of money now.
They are.
Like the old Pez.
We had a friend that used to collect the Pez.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
What a time.
That was Mike, right?
No.
Who was it?
It was Neil.
Was it Neil? Oh, it was Neil.
You see, this is why I'm here.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be able to tie my shoes in the morning.
At least. Good Lord.
David says, question, will Elon come out with his own phone or rely on T-Mobile's deal? I think that Elon will come out with his own phone, kind of something like a Tesla phone or a Pi phone. I think because Okay, so I think the reason behind it is you need to be able to have a means of communication with Starlink as well as T-Mobile, right? So you need to have both radios, let's say, in them. I just don't know how the phone is going to be able to pick up the signal from Starlink inside. That I don't know. Maybe it won't be able to, and you can only use the satellite portion while you're outside. I don't know, but we will see. But I think he will come out with a phone.
Hi, Kevin Lands. We're glad you made it on here late. We've been in and out
Yes,
ourselves.
it's been a
It's been
hot
a
ass
night.
mess tonight, but that's okay. We're all right with it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Let's see. It says so. Starlink orbit is higher than space station. Yes. There's at 550 kilometers is where they are in orbit. Let's see.
Electric
Okay.
Volt. Closest session-based failover to Speedify is the Peplink Balance 20. I hear it's possible to run Speedify on a router based on the Raspberry Pi.
I believe you can. I'm going to be doing a lot of testing with Speedify. I have some ideas. I've had people want to know, can you run it on your TV? The answer is yes. Can you run it on your Xbox and your PlayStation? The answer is yes, but there is a workaround that you need to do. Can you run it on multiple computers like a Raspberry Pi, a Linux machine, a PC, and a Windows? Yes, you can. I've also got questions. Does it have military grade? Does it have like a built-in VPN? The answer to that is yes, it does have a built-in VPN. There's thousands of servers worldwide. So there's any other questions, let me know. But there is going to be a lot of testing that I do with it because I really like what it's doing so far. I do like that it knows that I'm streaming and that it is sending these multi-packets out there so that we don't go down. And now we're actually streaming live on 2 streams instead of 1, which is a complete screw up, but it's actually handling it. I mean, I couldn't even do 1 years ago.
Sorry.
Double vision?
Yeah, I remember that. Alan Banks, can you see your last month's data? And wait. Or how do you see it? Like
On what? I guess you're talking about Starlink.
Yeah.
I have not been able to find it. No, I think you can only see your current data.
David just answered him.
And what did he say?
For Starlink, you have to sign into your account and view history, and it will give you a 30-day graph.
30-day. Okay. So
Thanks,
yeah,
David.
And that's the problem that I have with it. I want to see a 90-day or 120-day graph because I want to know what's going on. I would like to know, like, okay, I know because I checked. We used 920 gigabytes last month. But if I didn't check this month, I wouldn't know. So I don't like that. I want them to get more history. Okay, I want them to retain more history.
Did you
What is
answer
this
that
here?
one
No. You think SpaceX with Microsoft help put up an underwater data center?
And
to
over
go
here,
to the moon?
sorry, real quick, we look out of focus over here, but like
No,
over
that's
here.
just that's the feed.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
Yeah,
So
that's the
because
that's the
someone
feed.
asked about it.
Yeah. So it says, so will Microsoft help to put an underwater data center to go to the moon? I really don't know. I have not a clue. I've never heard of anything like that. So I really have no idea. Carl says 2 years. Let's see. Peter says, do you know what it is dripping down from, or what is dripping down from the engines? So a lot of times it is liquid oxygen. It's a lot of icing. That's what you'll see a lot. Now, what I did see in that flame, there was like some green pouring out. When you start seeing green pouring out, that's no longer what you should see. That's literally engines on fire, oils burning and just crap that shouldn't be on fire. That's green. And that was just, didn't look good. If you remember the original launch of it, the flame was really tight and just perfect, like a butane torch, right? Then all of a sudden it started getting raggedy and it just didn't look right. And that's when the engines started failing. And like I said, I think there was like a total of 8 engines that failed. So it was a lot. And a few of those engines were the center engines, which are the actual engines that are on the gimbals that control the I guess, the angle, let's say, or the direction that it's going. So it was, yeah, things really went south. And I really do believe, I blame it almost 100% on just chunks of debris that was hitting those engines during liftoff. There was huge pieces of concrete flying all over. Matter of fact, I said at the beginning of this stream, you could look in the ocean, like football fields down the way, chunks just banging all over the ocean, large splashes. So there was just,
It's crazy.
it was a debris mess,
So crazy.
right? Chris,
I do
yeah,
have
go
a
ahead.
quick. Tom Musington said, "I didn't sleep in a Holiday Inn last night, but with all the heat produced by the engines, any moisture in the concrete will explode the concrete."
Yeah, there you go. That is 100%. You obviously understand how concrete works. Yeah, that's 100% the case. So, how long ago did they pour that concrete? How thick is the concrete? How many days does the thickness of the concrete take to fully dry? There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of dynamics there. They're going to have to get away from that. If they want to launch, okay, so Elon said we're going to launch in the next month or two, another one, because like I said, they have, I think 3 in total so far. So they're going to launch another one. To do it, I don't think that it's going to be a problem getting those rockets on the pad. The problem is what pad are they going to use? Because the pad that they're using right now is not going to work, and they know it. So I think that pad is going to have to be destroyed or retrofitted with something else. And like I said, I think it's going to be some type of diversion method to divert that explosion outward and away from the actual spacecraft. Anyways.
Where'd you leave off here?
Let's see. Yes, we're down here. You seem to be out of focus. Yes.
Well, that was earlier.
Yeah, let us know if that clears up. Let's see. I live near the ocean. If you look out about 7.5 miles.
It cleared up already.
Okay, gotcha. We'll keep on going down here. Let's see. Still, DL Brooks said it was still 110. Here's a question. How many of the Starlink version 2 minis are up there? So the original batch was 21. And we don't know how many actually deorbited. We know at least 1 or 2 deorbited because their propulsion system failed. I don't know if it was at the time I said, if it's a software issue, they're going to be able to save the rest of those version 2 minis. And I think that they're saving them because I didn't hear about any more deorbiting. So let's just say, out of the 21, let's say 18 are still there. Well, they just launched another 21 like yesterday, the day before. So you got your 39 or whatever it is. You got 30 some up there in LEO as of right now. Now, when will they go into operation? I would speculate 3 weeks probably before they get to that 550 kilometers when they can actually work their operational height. Canada, $162. Wow, 162 Canadian. Let's see. Question: is your T-Mobile 4G or 5G? My T-Mobile is 4G, sadly, but it is 4G. That's all that we get. But even at 4G, we're getting about 26 megs up and about 90 to 100 megs down. I think that's fantastic. And there's more. It's supposed to be $50 a month, but if you have a T-Mobile phone, they take $20 off. So it goes to $35 a month from the 50, because they take 20 off. No, it goes to 30, but then they take another $5 off if you go to autopay. So literally for T-Mobile home internet is $25 a month if you have a T-Mobile phone. That is bizarre. That's bananas.
It's BANANAS.
Thank you. Exactly.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Keep on going. If you have one over there, let's jump over there.
Let's see. Hold on. I just saw it. Mr. Smith, I'm curious to know how much this experiment cost. 33 Raptor engines plus another 3 on the Starship itself. Sounds expensive. And guess who's paying for it all? You and I.
Yeah. Well, so yes, Elon is definitely getting government funding. People don't realize that, but yes, he's definitely getting government funding. But the majority of his money that he's making is like from all of these other companies that are having him, I guess, ride share into orbit. I mean, he's literally
It's like an Uber.
He's literally like the Uber of space. I mean, you know, those Falcon 9s are being launched like every 2-3 days, and then they land on the piggyback of like an autonomous with no one on it ship, and then it ferries them back onto the coast, and then they get revamped a little bit, fueled back up, and it launches up like within a week. It's craziness. I mean, we've never seen this type of speed of just turning things over. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, we are all paying for it a little bit, because he is getting funding from the government. But then again, you got AT&T, you have Verizon, you have all of these major, I'm going to get upset now.
Yeah.
You have all of these
Don't get
major
upset.
companies that are taking funding from the U.S. government, from us, we are
Right.
the government, for putting fiber to everyone on, let's say, in the rural areas,
Sure.
in areas that do not currently have high-speed internet access, to bridge that digital divide of the haves and have-nots, the people that don't have high speed and the people that do. Guess what? AT&T and all the rest of them have done shit. They've done nothing, absolutely nothing. They've taken the money, and what they've done is they've delivered fiber into like mobile parks, right? Trailer parks, small little areas, and then said that they have done something. And the thing is they've done nothing. All the rest of us, I've went to my AT&T page, and for 12 years it said that fiber is coming to our location. Not 12 months, 12 years. The page still says coming soon. It literally says coming soon. I might even post it in the community just to show how.
You should wear a shirt that says coming soon.
Yeah, it says coming soon, right?
We need a lot of
Anyway,
shirts.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting me hot on that. I appreciate that. Let's see. Will Texas says I was born the day after the Challenger explosion. Yeah, that was a sad day. I remember being in school when the Challenger exploded, the shuttle. And I remember the teacher that was on board and a bunch of other people. It was a sad, sad day. But that shows, even NASA, that takes 10 years to kick the can down the road, where Elon does it in 10 months. There's still going to be mishaps. And that mishap was due to heat shielding. Those tiles, those small tiles,
I remember that.
just fell off and then caused the entire unit to burn up as it was going through the atmosphere. Very, very sad, the Challenger explosion. Let's see.
Chaplin just said that he doesn't know why, but his internet service has been improved, meaning very few circles, and I did a VoIP call with my daughter for over an hour and realized it had 0 drop. That's great.
That is fantastic.
That's really good.
That is really, really good. Let's see. Morgan here. In Mexico, Starlink Business is offering with multiple data caps, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, 6 terabytes, and for 180, 375, or 1,077. I'm going to guess that is going to be in, obviously that's not US, that's going to be in Mexican. So I would imagine that would be a small, I don't know what that would translate into. But anyways, Morgan, if you know what that converts to, from peso to US, let me know. But yeah, so they do have 3 plans. So it's not just 2 terabyte. It's 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, or 6 terabyte for the business plan in Mexico. Good information. Thank you so much. Let's see. Scott says $135, best effort. Only in Ohio, still waiting on residential, no complaints. Starlink is a lifesaver. Got rid of Dish Network and AT&T. They're ripping me off for years. And then you have, of course, Usenet, which is a scam. Exactly. Viasat, Usenet, AT&T DSL, AT&T Uverse, Dish Network, DirecTV. All of these companies, people, they're going out of business. All right, these people are going to, or those services are going to go out of business. Everything is about data at this point, right? Phones, when they say, oh, you get unlimited text, who really cares? Do you have data? Yes or no? That's all you need. Your phone can call. Does it really matter? No. You can make a VoIP call or a voice over IP call. So as long as you have data, that's all you need. All these companies know it. And you see these TV networks like Dish Network and DirecTV, they don't know what the hell they're going to do, because everyone is just going IPTV, And that is it. They don't need to have a dish on the side of their house anymore for any type of TV access, right? So yeah, that's awesome. You were able to get rid of all of that mess just by getting Starlink. That's fantastic.
It's amazing.
What do you have?
Chaplin said they don't want rural people to have fiber. Mostly conservatives live there.
There's a way to look at it. There you go.
And he's close to canceling Viasat.
Yeah, just get.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have Starlink and you have a phone, that's enough. Because if you use something like what I'm using here, Speedify, you can use your phone as a backup, or you can use a 4G type of thing. I showed you guys in one of my videos. I have it over there. A 4G type of connection to any one of the towers, the radio towers near you. That's enough. You have backup and you have Starlink. That's all you need. Get rid of Viasat. Stop paying these damn people. Get rid of HughesNet if you have that. Don't pay them either. It's all a bunch of garbage. They've been scamming people for so many years. I'm just very happy that they are right now in the position that they're at. And I hope a lot of these, like AT&Ts and all the other ones, are in the exact same position, or they will be soon. Anyways, here's a question. Ian says, let's see, would Starlink worldwide roam work with Pleasure Boat in? No. So you have to have maritime Starlink to be able to work on the water. Unless you have a new service, there's a new service, a roaming service that is a roaming for maritime. That roaming for maritime is like $200 and some. I forgot exactly what it is. Don't quote me on that. But that will allow you to roam on Earth, let's say, and in the water. Okay. So you would need that to be able to do it. If you have roam or global roam, that is still only on Earth, on the actual land, and not in the water. Keep that in mind. That's $200 per month for that.
Jay Goodmundor, does T-Mobile have data cap?
Supposedly they do not. I will find out. It is my understanding is their T-Mobile phone does have a data cap and it will slow down. But T-Mobile's gateway, which is the thing that you use in your house, you can't move around, is unlimited, true unlimited, where it is what it is because it's obviously being used in a home for TV and for everything else. So supposedly not, but I will let you know. Let's see. Watching, look at this, Bajarn or Jarn. He says, watching from Greenland with global roam, $200.
That's great.
Average 50 to 180 megabits right now. That's amazing. From Greenland. How are you doing? That's awesome.
Fran Ditta, any opinion on IPTV services? So many.
Yes, there's a ton of them. Right now we're using, for our IPTV, we're using YouTube TV.
YouTube TV.
Yeah, YouTube TV.
I had to think about it for a second.
It's good. Okay.
It's because we had Dish Network for so long.
We had Dish Network
My
for
gosh.
20 years. And once we got Starlink, we gave them the single finger salute. And that was the end of them. And they begged us to stay.
Yeah.
And we were like, no.
No.
Sorry. Literally, it was like $160,
You got
$180
so much
a month.
money out of us for 20 plus years with just
Yeah. So they
poo-poo
were
stuff.
Yeah, for junk. So well, you know what?
As our daughter says, a bunch of junk.
It's a bunch of junk. So you know what I'm going to do? Look at this. So just to give you an idea, because this is
Alan. He just dropped Dish Network, $140 a month for YouTube TV, 73 unlimited DVR
exactly.
data.
So we were paying about $150 a month times 12, $1,800 a year times 23 years. There you go.
Oh, if people did the math
there
like
you go.
that on stuff.
Yeah. So we paid Dish Network $41,000, approximately $400. That's what we paid Dish Network.
Wow.
So like I said, when we got Starlink.
And also that wasn't even, like, we had to cancel a lot of, like, the HBOs and all that stuff.
Yeah, we couldn't even have that. It was going to be $200.
It was so much more money. And then we were like, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
basically for the cost of Starlink, we're getting phone, we're getting TV, gaming. We got all of internet access. I can upload everything. And that's one of the reasons why I even do this Starlink stuff at all. That's why I've been taking you on my journey, because it is just one of those things that I think is revolutionary. I mean, at least for us. What does Flying Pretzel say? Thank you so much for that super chat. Flying Pretzel, you didn't have to do that.
Corlil Katana. I was in a pizza place in temporary housing on a foreign air base when Challenger happened. Yeah.
It was a very big thing. I remember being in school, and it was like, it was a really, really, it was a sad, sad time. Let's see. Let's come down here. Kamikaze says, flat Earth theory, fake lunar landing are making big comebacks online. I'm praying. I love that. How can this even come back?
What?
Like the whole idea of these fake lunar landings and that the Earth is flat and there is no satellites. I mean,
okay, wait. I'm gonna what's the word? I'm gonna out our son-in-laws.
Oh, yes.
There's 2 of those in our family.
Yeah. You guys are stupid.
We love you, but you're stupid.
It's just stupid. Anyways, let's see. It shows 25 watching.
It's okay. We're gonna make a family trip.
Yeah. So Brian, it shows 25 people are watching. It's because we're dual streaming.
Yeah. It's just been a night.
So right now we're sitting at one stream with like 60, 70 people on. This stream with 20, 25 on or whatever.
Yeah, and we're trying to catch up on
questions.
And
we're actually reading questions on both streams.
Yeah. It's okay.
It is what it is. We had a problem with audio at the beginning, and now the audio's it's fixed, and it was like a whole bunch of. It was a bunch of.
Derek, oh my God, I would disown my son-in-laws for flat Earth beliefs.
Did you see that? You hear that, guys? They will disown you if you say the Earth is
classic.
Flat. Oh my God. Let's see.
We love them.
Absolutely. Let me see. Ambassador Flame says, okay, this is a great stream. Let's see. What is Kamikaze Ozzy says, is Boca Chica water line too shallow to make a deep? So that's a good, like a trench is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. Okay. When I saw the images of where the pad is, I mean, it has to be like maybe 5 football fields or so away. It can't be that far from the ocean. They can definitely trench it. But my question is this: would they trench it and put salt water underneath it in comparison to like a fresh water? And that I don't know about. And the reason being is we know that salt just eats everything, right? It eats everything. You go up north into Maine, let's say, it snows all the time. They put salt on the ground during the season, and all the trucks and all the cars, the whole underbellies are all rotted. So I don't know if salt water is the answer. I mean, I would like to see a trench, but a deflector type of trench. But that's just my, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. You have something over here?
Yeah, I've got a couple actually.
Yep, go ahead.
Corlil Katana, does phone plus UHF plus VHF plus HF count as backup?
What do you mean by does phone plus VHF, UHF? Are we talking about like what type of signal are you looking to get in as a backup?
That's a lot of acronyms.
Yeah,
for me.
I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. Now you can use, there is obviously direct links to towers that you can get, which run on different frequencies. It just depends on what you're doing. But if you're doing like a 4G or a 5G, you're going to be on a certain band, a 66, a 20, whatever the band is for that tower that you're at, and that's what you're going to need to pull in. What I'm trying to get in here for you guys is I'm trying to test a 4-channel, 4-band antenna for the T-Mobile. I'm telling you guys this kind of like behind the scenes because you're here live with me, but that's what I'm working at. And if we do get one of these in, we will do a test to see what type of speed we can get out of this thing. Right now we're getting about 20 to 30 megabits up and about 100 megabits down. And that's going through a 8-inch concrete wall. So When I put the unit outside and tested it, I was getting over 150 to 160 megabits down. So I don't know. We will see. We'll see what we can do with that. Chaplain, thank you so much. Chaplain, let me see. Chaplain Stefan Bresser. Thank you so much for that super chat. We really do appreciate that.
We appreciate you watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. You know, it's really, you know, I look at this as like a community. We're here. Yeah. We're not like, you know, like gurus on this stuff. You know,
I definitely am not.
You know, so, but I really like to share as much information that I get.
I'm here for the chats. And
yes, and
normally a nice
and you know
cocktail.
What, to hold me accountable because you know I have ADD and I'll just and I'll start doing
because
this.
if not he'll just forget about some people.
And then a lot of times I'll like expand on things too far and I'll just talk too long and then she'll push me. She'll kick me sometimes underneath here. But if I don't get kicked, I won't know and I'll just keep on going. But anyways,
I like this though. This is working.
Yeah,
well.
it's starting. It's annoying me though because I feel like you're gonna. I don't know. Hit me with that thing. Anyways, thank you so much for that super chat. We really do appreciate it.
I have Daniel Montgomery. Is it possible to put Speedify on a router with 2 internet connection, as it is not practical for hardwire Ethernet in my house and would hate to run 2 Wi-Fi networks for every PC, TV, etc.
Okay, so it's not made to go on a router, okay? But you could use a laptop as a router. You could use a Raspberry Pi as a router. You could use there's a lot of workarounds, and I think I'm going to go into some of them. So just bear with me. Like I said, there's a lot of people that have been asking about, can I use it on Xbox? Can I use it on PlayStation? Can I use it on my TV? Yes, you can use it on your TV if you have like an Android TV or some type of TV that allows you to download like an APK, you know, some type of software. So anyways, I'm going to get into some of that probably within the next couple of weeks because a lot of you guys have been asking me about it. So we'll do some testing. Trust me.
Yeah, John, great on the YouTube TV. I pay for a friend of mine to have direct and it is $200 a month. I am looking to replace and I now will compare the channels. Definitely compare because it's
the same. It's literally the same.
It's
crap.
basically the same thing. Obviously, if you're going to add like HBOs and things like that you're going to pay more, just like you would on Dish or Direct. So
yeah, exactly.
Flying Pretzel. The Earth is round. Moon landing, not so much. I can't with you. Darren Goodwin. I have 2 son-in-laws, and so far they have been very cool. Mad respect for them putting up with my daughters and not believing Earth is flat. LOL.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That's good.
Salt water under that heat will create, I believe, chlorine gas.
Chlorine gas, yeah. It might. Yeah, you could be right.
David Hyman, ham radio.
Ham radio. Yeah. I mean, there's actually people that still use ham radio to do direct source ham radio that is pulling an internet connection through ham. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get internet, but not to get high-speed internet. And that's one of the biggest things is the high-speed side of things, because high speed is what we need. And if you can't get high speed, then, you know, I mean, you could use it for a backup for emergencies, but that's really about it. So let me go over here. Let's see. Ian, maybe Ian. Moody?
We've been calling him Ian.
Is it Ian? I'll just say Ian. It says, you think T-Mobile would be bought by Starlink and put up cell towers, feed? I know where you're going with this. So no, I think what's happening is Elon Musk decided to get in bed with T-Mobile because T-Mobile has a lot of antennas worldwide already. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I think he likes the service and he uses the service, and he's probably found that he believes that the CEO that he works with or speaks to is authentic and they had a good rapport. The last time I saw them together on stage, it seems that they had like a really good back and forth. It wasn't really stuffed shirt type of thing. So I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to use each other for backhauling data. Backhauling it to Starlink or from Starlink back to T-Mobile, back and forth. So I think that's what's going to happen at first. It's that whole backhauling thing. Scott Moore, thank you so much for that super chat. Really do appreciate it. TJIF.
Really quick, Derek Goodwin said, YouTube take 30% of all donations. I suggest PayPal donations.
Yeah, they do. Let me just put in here, if you do, you can type this into JCristina photo at gmail.com. There you go. So JCristina photo at gmail.com. That's our PayPal email address. If you wanted to PayPal something, you could. It's completely up to you. But yeah, we do know that Google does take their 30%, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for those super chats. They're really appreciated. Let's see, what else do we have here? Scott Moore says, every time a grant is released in an area, we never receive internet. So yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like an issue. That one thing that I do see, and I'm sure that you guys have seen too. Let me bring this up for you. I'm going to share this. I've shared this before, and I know a lot of you guys were wanting to see this in the past, so I'm going to bring it up right now. It says starting simulation. You can see that. So this right here is this website called Starlink.sx. Type that in over there, and I'll type it in over here after. Okay. So it's Starlink.s as in Sally, X as in X-ray. Oh. And what this does is it shows you where all of the satellites are.
Starlink?
Yeah, Starlink. Just right here, just so you see there, SX.
Oh, okay.
So this right here shows you where all of the satellites are, and in respect to where you are. So I'm right now located right in this little green spot in Florida. And we have these yellow dots, see Punta Gorda, and then over here we have De Leon Springs, and then over here we have Miami. These right here are ground stations. There's 3 of them in Florida, 3 ground stations. The purple triangle, that right there is a POP, or a point of presence. But you see how this says number 2? The point of presence that I'm using is right here, number 1. Now, you're going to ask yourself, I'm here. Why in the hell would I be using this? That's a good damn question, guys, but I am. And talking to him is just basically talking to, a rock, and I get nowhere. But anyways, so do you see this green dot? This is a satellite that's going to be coming overhead in just a second. The green dots are 1.5s, laser. They have lasers on board. Mm-hmm. The blue dots are the 1.0s. Those are the old satellites. So we want to see as many of these green dots as possible. Now, do you see this yellow dot right here? Yeah. This is a dot meaning that this is out of commission. These are not currently working. This yellow dot here is a 1.5 dot, a satellite, but it's not in the location where it needs to be. Do you see the orbital height? Mm-hmm. Says 543 kilometers. Now, we take a look at this green one. That's this yellow one. This green one right here, do you see the orbital height? Also at 543. That means this one is going to be coming online very soon. Some of these satellites you'll see are not at the right height, not at 550 or 540, so they are out. They're not able to be used. But anyways, you can go here to see where the different satellites are near you and how close they are to you. But also what you can use this for is to find out where your ground stations are. Like I said before, my ground stations are right here, these little orange dots. So go check out yours and see where yours are located. All right, okay. So let's get back over to the questions.
And Any 4003, finally I made it. So I know I'm late to the game and this isn't relevant to the conversation you're having, but I was curious if you had any plans on reviewing high-end performance 6E routers.
The 6E routers,
And just in case some of you guys are getting on, yes, we know that we are on 2 live streams right now. We've had issues tonight.
Yes. So we're actually streaming, we're simulcasting basically. It's just crazy on two different streams. Anyways, as far as the 6G, I do not have any right now in stock here. All of the ones that I have are the older versions, but I will probably get a 5G sometime soon, and when I do, I'll do a review on it. I've reviewed so far about 6 or 7, I think 6 or 7, maybe one of them were even a 6G. You have to check back. Look in my Starlink playlist for, God, there's a lot of different tests that I've done. Go check out those router tests because there's a bunch of them. And if you want to know which routers I've tested, take a look in the description of this video or any of my videos and take a look down. You'll see a list of like UTTs and TP links and just all of them. Ubiquity, just a ton. Netgate, a whole bunch of different routers I've tested. So go check those out.
Really quick, Derek Goodwin, do you have a referral code for Speedify?
Speedify, yes. The referral code would be JCristina. So when you check out over on Speedify, if you type in JCristina, they'll give you an additional 20% off whatever your price is. And I believe right now they're running some special or something. I heard about it, but I didn't even go and look. I think it was like 70% off or something. Let me go and check that out. Let me see. Let me go to Speedify, speedify.com. And let me bring that up here. All right, guys. Yeah. So I was right. So there you go. They do have a 70% off spring sale right now. So you sign up for 3 years and you get, I guess it's 70% off. They might even have a year sale too. Check that out. But yeah, they have like that money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you, you can always just discontinue it and go with something else or whatever. But I mean, I can tell you from what I've experienced so far. I mean, right now you can see my Speedify, and that's why I put it on this feed tonight. You can see how many outages, if there's any outages, and like what's going on with it. Let me roll down here. Do you see this down here? This is very important information. It says saved from excessive latency or packet loss 59 times. So far it has saved this stream from either really high latency, high milliseconds, or packet loss 59 times. And then it's also failed over from either T-Mobile to Starlink or from Starlink to T-Mobile. It's done that already 9 times during this stream. So that just gives you an idea of what it's doing and how it's doing it. And right here you can also see the health of the network. We see the Ethernet, which is Starlink, the health is 2.5 stars, whereas the health of the T-Mobile is right now 3 stars. So what that health bar means is like, what is the latency? What is the jitter? That's another thing that's very important. And if you want to know what jitter is compared to latency, just ask me and I'll tell you about it. But for now, let's go on to the next question.
Do you have any over there? Oh, no.
Yeah,
Alan Banks, thank you for the $5 donation super chat.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Alan. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. Those super chats are so helpful. It's like seeing that. It's like it's not even about the amount. It's just that I love to see when people just appreciate, the work,
said thank you so
the work
much.
that we do and stuff. So I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Let's see here.
He said, thanks, guys, enjoying the Friday Night Lives and all you guys are doing to help us save time and money. You're absolutely welcome.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Ian says, do they have 100 kilometer Wi-Fi for wireless ISPs? That I really don't know. I am not sure about that. Let's see. Kamikaze Ozzy says the wife kicked. Exactly. I know all about the kick too. This is just how it is.
Sometimes you just need a kick.
And that avatar that you have, I really enjoy that avatar. To be honest with you, Kamikaze Ozzy, I like it. It's a sweet avatar.
Oh my gosh. A question. Can I use Speedify on my Mac?
Hold on just a second. Wait. Hold that.
Okay.
So Crowdazzle says, did you all see the Starship torch? All right, guys. So if you don't know what the Starship torch is, I'm going to show you. Okay. And I told my wife, I said, wifey, I love you, but I had to buy something. And let me do this top-down camera so you can see it. So that right there is what I bought You see that? No, it is not a phallic symbol. It is a Starship torch. It is a Starship torch, and yes,
You're cool.
yes, I am a dork, and I did buy one. All right, don't ask me how much it was,
I
but
won't. I love it.
I'm not
That's
going to tell
great.
her. But I did buy one. It is freaking awesome, is it not? So when it ever comes, okay, right behind me, there's going to be a Starship,
It's going to be another thing behind him.
and then I'm going to light it up,
Oh my
and
God.
there'll be like a 10-inch torch coming out the back. But I
Let
will
me
not
know
hit.
so I
I
don't
will
get
not hit a
close to my
self-destruct.
hair.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to burn up your hair. But I will not self-destruct that thing. That is just sweet. Is that cool?
It's cool. You're
All
the
right, it's
coolest.
not.
No, it's cool.
It's geeky. I know it is.
I mean, that's your thing.
That's cool. All right. So yeah, I do have one coming.
All right.
Let's see. What was it? The question that you had there? I just saw that come
Oh.
through. I got excited.
Can you use
Okay, I'm sorry.
Speedify on my Mac?
Yes.
On
So
a Mac.
you could use Speedify on a Raspberry Pi. You can use Speedify on Linux. You can use Speedify on Mac. You can use Speedify on PC. You could use Speedify on Android, on like an Android TV. You can also use Speedify on a PlayStation and an Xbox, but you have to go through some hoops to make that happen. But I'm going to get into some of that because I think that a lot of you want to know about it. So since you do, maybe I'll make a couple of videos about it. Like I'm going to also make more videos on the T-Mobile stuff because a lot of people have been asking about that. And I want to get into some battery stuff and maybe some solar stuff and some other things that are more tech related. Anything that you want to know that you would like for me to play with, make videos about, let me know, okay? Because this is all about us, right? Not just me. Let me know what those are so I can make those videos, right? So,
Okay, Renee Hale, is it possible to put on router for all traffic for all devices?
you cannot. So, well, you can actually use like an old laptop as a router and then do it that way. You can do that. So yeah, there's workarounds, but you can't actually install it like a basic VPN into a router. It doesn't work like that. Even though it's a VPN, it's also a bonding type of software, and it needs to have all of that communication, right? So you just can't, it just doesn't work like that. You got another one here?
Nope. Oh, it says Peter Madsen, no PayPal email or URL.
For the PayPal, the email would be JCristina. You can write that. I'll put that back in there. JCristina photo. So it'd be JCristina.
For PayPal?
Yeah. photo@gmail.com for PayPal. There you go. So JCristina photo@gmail.com for PayPal. If you guys want to do that, yeah, you don't have to, but if you do, that's fantastic. Because we know, Google of course, they always take their 30% because that's what they do. It's Google. Thank you, Google. Then again, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to go live with you right now. So, I'm still grateful. Let's see. Other questions? Any questions you guys have? Put a Q before the question so that we can kind of hone in on it and check it out real quick.
No wireless ISPs are not able to do 100 km for the average connection due to Earth curvature. Would need an extremely tall tower to normally 35 kilometers or less.
There you go. Thank you so much, David. Who is this? Hyman. Thank you so much for that. Do appreciate that. Because I mean, it makes sense. 100 kilometers. You do have that curve, and you're gonna be basically banging into the ground instead of actually hitting your destination. So the height of the antenna would be massive.
DL Brooks, can you do some testing on solar generators?
Great question. Yes, that's something that I want to get into. So I'm glad you put it in there. I'm going to write that down because
I know, and there's
solar generators.
And
there's a few other projects that
Steve wants to know again, off-grid stuff.
Off-grid, okay.
Yeah, we've had.
So yes, A lot of solar stuff I think is very important. I do want
I got you, Steve.
I want to do like this project where I run the entire Starlink, even though I don't need to, off solar. I just think that would be fascinating to do. Can you do it? Yes. But how efficient is it? And can it actually be done, let's say, if you have like inclement weather, let's say there's an outage and you don't have a lot of solar because it's rained all day. Now what, you don't have Starlink? So I'm figuring out now how much power I use per day and per month and all the rest of the stuff, just to kind of hone it down and take an average to see how big of these lithium batteries do I need to actually make it happen. So we'll see how that all goes. But stay tuned for that. That's something that I'm working on. Anything else? I think that's it then. Well, guys, I guess we have to say this was an eventful Friday night.
It was.
We started out with no audio, and that's just my fault because I'm a dumbass. But we figured it out, and rebooted, and we have multiple streams going on.
Yeah.
We didn't have any outages. We are actually streaming, I guess, on 2 different streams simultaneously.
Yes.
Which is more than crazy. I didn't even know that I could do it, but we did.
Well, I have a couple more questions that just came in real quick.
So you know what? We're going to get off in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So 5 minutes. Any questions you have, throw them down there, and we will we'll get to them. 5 minutes.
So what will you do at night for solar? How many batteries will you need? That was in regards to the Starlink
so
on
at
solar
night,
system.
Exactly. And that is going to be determined based on how much I'm going to take a reading. Right now I'm at about 50 watts to about 75 watts. Your miles may vary because if you're in cold climate, you might be double that. So, but I'm going to take my average and then I'll probably double it and then multiply that out to figure out how many, what type of watt I'm going to need, how much amps, let's say, how many hours worth of downtime is it going to be able to house in X number of batteries? Can I do it on, a 200 amp hour battery? Do I need a 225? Do I need 225? What do I need to be able to actually make it happen? And I want to be able to go for an entire 12-hour period on straight battery at least. That's so that we can go straight through the night and then go into the daylight. But that's like minimum. My goal is a 24-hour cycle with absolutely no electric, and that would kind of help if for some reason we end up with no sun or minimal sun for the day and it can't charge those batteries up. So we'll see what we can do, and I will let you know how far I get, and you'll see that hopefully sometime not too long from now. I'm making some calls, and if any of you guys know any lithium battery companies that might want to sponsor us and send us over some, let us know on that too, because I'm reaching out to a couple of people. So we'll see.
Jay Goodmunder, been using iPhone camera. What camera actually would be a step up for better pictures without breaking the bank?
Which one was it? Read that one more
They've
time.
been using the iPhone camera. What would be a good step-up camera for better pictures without breaking the bank?
Without breaking the bank. So I would not buy a new camera. I would buy a used camera. You can look in refurbished cameras, because a lot of the refurbished cameras are as good, if not better, than the new cameras, because they've went over a couple of times already. They fixed the problem and then went over the whole camera again. So they're usually quite good. Look into refurbish, and then also look into used, because there's a lot of great used cameras out there. Now, the camera that you buy is really going to be dependent on what do you want to carry, how heavy, what type of lenses do you want. You have full frame, APS-C, and micro four thirds. Micro four thirds is going to be the smaller cameras, smaller lenses, smaller everything. So it's very pocketable. If you want something that's a lot better, you go APS-C or full frame. So, I mean, I use Canon. So for me, I wouldn't mind, getting, it just depends on the amount that you want to spend. But you can get a really good camera for under $1,000 today. You can also get like a Sony, like a ZV-1, like I'm using right here, which is better than an iPhone. And it probably costs you about $500-600. So it just depends on what you want to do. Do you want removable lenses, or do you want a lens built in like we have here with the ZV-1? So I would look into used, though. That's the best way to go.
Tom wanted you to know to get a kilowatt meter to do a load survey for the PV.
Yep, that's what I'm using actually, the kilowatt meter.
Hold on. Oh no, where did it go?
Did you lose it? It's that pencil that you're
No,
using.
no. Here it is. I found it. Steve says we have our power cut off because of forest fires. Leaves us sole.
Yeah, so that's it. Well, if you have a lot of fires too, and you have a lot of smoke in the atmosphere, you're going to lose a lot of solar too. So that there you need to have a good either generator, or you need to have a good battery backup solution and enough battery backups to be able to maintain for a specific amount of time. See, over here we have hurricanes all the time, and we've always had a problem with hurricanes and not being able to do crap once the hurricanes hit.
Yeah,
there was one
we
time
lose power like immediately, even after they've fixed and supposedly modernized whatever they did. We still lose. A squirrel can fart, and we'll lose.
Squirrel fart. Yes, squirrel farts.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen.
It happens, and we were without power like 2
I think
weeks.
I saw a squirrel that was lactose intolerant, farting like crazy. I've seen it before.
Where do you come up with
I don't
this
know,
stuff?
but I've seen it.
You see? Yeah. No.
So the lactose intolerant squirrel who
Should
farted.
we get a shirt of that?
A squirrel farting? I think that'd be good. Flatulent.
I think that we need to
flatulent
finish.
squirrel. We need to get out of here. I'm trying to lose my shit. I don't.
Yeah.
So no, but so
oh my god.
But anyway, so hurricanes are a problem in this.
How did you go from hurricanes to a lactose intolerant squirrel?
I don't friggin' know.
You're nuts.
But we do get a lot of hurricanes, and so solar is something that we're looking into, and I think it's a good. We have a
lot of projects that we just don't have time to do.
We have a golf cart that has 6 lead acid batteries in it that weighs like 10,000 pounds, but it
works.
It works, and I'm really thinking about using it as a power supply. I'm like, these are lead acid golf cart batteries, right? Deep cycle batteries. That's exactly what you need for the project that I'm talking about. But what I want to do is I want to do it in lithium. So it's really lightweight, without the acid, without any kind of fumes, without having to deal with water and a lot of other things. So anyways.
So Reiki says, I have Dish Network and Fox 30 has been blacked out since last December. Is there anything I can call to complain? Because I don't know who it is to blame, Dish or the channel. Okay, so usually with this situation, it's because the channels, the company, right, doesn't want to pay Dish whatever it is that Dish has upped their ante. You know.
So
and really there's nothing you can do.
No, I mean
other than, you know what, get YouTube TV, and then you can have all the Fox channels.
Yeah, get IPTV, get YouTube TV, or any
it'll
other,
be cheaper.
Any other any other IPTV that you can find. Use Starlink or any other data that you have, like we did, and literally just tell Dish Network to take a long frickin' walk off a short bridge, or DirecTV. Tell them to take that same walk, holding hands. Okay, that's probably your best bet. Because these people have been raping people for so many years that they need to lose their base. And I think they are losing their base. As more and more people get fiber, fast access, once you have unlimited internet, you don't need these people anymore. And the people in the rural areas like we do, that were on the other side of the train tracks, on the other side of the digital divide, that didn't have high-speed internet access, that now do with Starlink, now all of a sudden we can actually tell these people to take a hike. Yeah. And it's fantastic. It feels great.
It was great.
It is fantastic. It is. Anyone else?
What camera are you using to do the stream?
Okay, so right now over here we have a Canon EOS R. Up here we have a Sony ZV-1. And over there, which is currently not actually streaming, but is connected, is an 80D. I have like 12 cameras. So those are the ones that just work good for what I'm doing here. But, for this type of thing, you can use any of that. The main thing is the Sonys and the Canons do really, really well when it comes to locking in on the eyes. And that is really important.
Jay Gudmunder said, title for episode, Farting Squirrels on Flat Earth.
I like that. Who said that?
Jay Gudmunder.
Jake, I thank you so much for
That's
that. I
great.
really like that. That's good.
That's
Farting
it.
squirrels
On flat Earth.
on flat Earth, looking up and seeing a flat cheese moon with no satellites.
I can't.
I like that.
Okay,
I
I
think we
think
do
that's it. We're done.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so
what
much.
Did we win?
I don't know. This has been a
Nuts.
struggle, but we made it.
We did. Thank you.
We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Friday night. Thank you for all of the super chats. Thank you for all that you guys do. Thank you for all the information that you give me, because I'm stupid. And a lot of you guys give me a lot of really good information. Then I can tell you or tell everyone else this information. I get a lot of emails. And if you guys want to email, you can email over at that email that I gave you for PayPal. You can email me there also. You can DM me through Twitter or through wherever. You can also contact me through the website, JCristina.com/, I think it's contact. Yeah. Or you can just go to JCristina.com. Check out my books. Go grab some of my books. They're free. The ebooks, JCristina.com/books. If you want any of the merch like this, tea time.
He's still going.
Tea time. If you want to hit that, go check out JCristina.com/shop.
And don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe.
That's right. And look at
There you
that.
go.
See, I need your, look at this NASA.
No, this is special. This is vintage.
That is vintage.
Yeah.
I can't wear that.
No, you cannot.
No.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Have a great week. And we will hopefully see you next Friday without any glitches or problems.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't screw it up again. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Many blessings to all of you. Have a great night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Later.